final item of business today is a members' business debate on motion number 8899 in the name of David Torrance on Asda Kirkcaldy's Community Life Programme. This debate will be concluded without any questions being put, and I would be grateful if those members who wish to speak in the debate could press the request to speak buttons now. I call on David Torrance to open the debate. 7 minutes, please.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am delighted to welcome Stephen Gallagher, Store Manager of Asda Kirkcaldy, and Jean Ritchie, Kirkcaldy's Community Life Champion, to the Chamber this afternoon. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity today to speak about Asda Community Life Programme, especially the Community Life Programme in my constituency, Kirkcaldy. Since its inception in 2012, I have had a particular interest in this project as it offers support to a wide range of community-centred third sector organisations in my constituency. However, despite being part of a multinational corporation, Asda has shown great interest in actively contributing to local community life. For several years now, Asda has played a vital role in supporting the vast number of voluntary organisations that operate in Scotland. Organisations that aim at enhancing social cohesion among citizens, as well as strengthening local participation for local charities. According to the Office of Scottish Charity Regulator, there exists around 45,000 voluntary organisations in Scotland, half of which are registered charities. However, it is crucial to understand that a vast number of these organisations are small community-based initiatives that often lack necessary framework to promote their good cause. Inspired to provide assistance for such local organisations, Asda established the Community Life Programme. At the outset, the overarching goal of the programme was to combine several smaller support measurements that were taking place in each store. To achieve this, a Community Life Champion was introduced to every Asda supermarket, whose main task is to regulate all charitable work in his or her local store. Community Life Champions also work in partnership with voluntary and charity groups to help them develop fundraising strategies. In addition to this, Asda provides these first sector organisations with the possibility of using meeting rooms, foyers, training rooms, cafes and car parks at their local stores. Not surprising, many voluntary groups welcome the opportunity to make use of Asda's facility, to hold fundraising events and to inform the public about their work. Fundraising events in Asda stores can be dedicated to numerous good causes, ranging from renovating care homes, nurseries, to helping local community groups grow their own fruit and vegetables. Additionally, more than 100,000 students from Asda's primary schools have visited Asda stores to learn about environmentally friendly living and healthy nutrition. Offering such generous help provides many organisations with access to facilities they would lack otherwise. According to the Community Life Programme, it is a huge success. Statistics indicate since 2012, stores across Scotland have raised around £2.6 million, and Asda's Community Life Champions have participated in over 36,000 hours of volunteering. More, however, voluntary groups used Asda stores 3,627 times as community centres. In 2003, Asda's efforts for community were honoured as the company was awarded the Large Company of the Year award, Building Stronger Communities Local Impact Award and Volunteer of the Year Award at the Scottish Business and Community Awards. The Asda Superstore in my constituency of Kirkcaldy has certainly contributed to these remarkable achievements. Through the vigorous commitment of the store's manager, Stephen Gallagher, and Community Life Champion, Jean Ritchie, it has been possible to raise over £27,000 for local good causes last year. Hence, I want to extend particular gratitude to both, as well as their colleagues, for a strong dedication in Kirkcaldy's community life. The list of voluntary organisations and charities in Kirkcaldy that have benefited from the Community Life Programme is long. However, today I want to highlight several projects I am particularly affiliated with. One of these organisations is Linton Lane Centre. The organisation supports the needs of local residents of all age groups, offering activities for enjoying education. These include children's programmes, youth clubs, dance classes, family support groups, sports training courses and senior citizens clubs. In 2012, Asda played a key role in fundraising £17,376 for Linton Lane Centre, which enabled them to further expand their service spectrum. Part of Linton Lane Centre is the Grey Panthers Club, a voluntary initiative dedicated to setting up events for active senior citizens. Grey Panthers have been working in partnership with Asda Community Life Programme and organising tea dances. For these tea dances, Asda regularly donates a selection of cakes and scones and have been extremely supportive in preparing the hall for the event. However, Asda not only offers facilities to local non-profit organisations, but also financially supports them through funds made available by the Asda Foundation. Each year, £100,000 are reserved for voluntary organisations. The customers themselves nominate and constantly vote for. On a regular basis, they can choose free charitable organisations or local community groups who we believe are worthy to receive a donation. This initiative, called Chosen by You, Given by Us, has attracted significant attention by the public and also been highly popular within my constituency. This January, it was my pleasure for me to hand over a cheque for the 3 winners of Chosen by You, Given by Us scheme in Kirkcaldy. The winning organisation, Cash for Kids, was selected by local customers in November and December last year and received a total amount of £202 by the ASDA Foundation. Presiding Officer, the final project I would like to bring to the attention of the Chamber today is ASDA's Tickle Pink campaign. The project endeavours to raise money for 2 breast cancer charities, Breast Cancer Care and Breast Cancer Campaign. It was launched 18 years ago and has since then collected around £38 million. I believe Tickle Pink is an amazing initiative and I have been supporting it now for several years. As an example, in September I assisted the 5th Fife Scout Group backpacking at Asda Kirkcaldy in aid of Tickle Pink. It was wonderful to see how excited the Scout Group was to contribute to fundraising. In 4 hours of backpacking, £447 was collected for the prevention, treatment and research of breast cancer. Later the same month, I joined Jean Ritchie, Asda's Community Life Champion, and Fiona Lockett, who is a Cancer NHS Fife Health Promotion Officer, to sell raffle tickets for a tombola in favour of the Tickle Pink campaign. The day was a huge success, as a total of £339 was raised. I'd like to quote Fiona Lockett, who commented on working in cooperation with ASDA. ASDA are always there, community-focused and enthusiastic, but working in partnership with them is always fun. I was pleased to be given the opportunity to highlight the issue in the store on the Tickle Pink Day and to bring to the attention of the members of the public. I truly believe that Mrs Lockett's statement is an excellent summary of ASDA Kirkcaldy dedication in strengthening and interacting with local community life. It is not a matter, of course, that such a big company cares about its customers the way ASDA does. Hence, ASDA deserves our full gratitude and support for offering its facilities to voluntary non-profit organisations. I would like to thank Stephen Gallagher and Jean Ritchie once more and wish them and their team the best of luck for a successful continuation of the Community Life programme.
Thank you very much. We now turn to the open debate. Speeches of 4 minutes, please. Claire Baker, to be followed by Murdo Fraser.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. And I'd like to start by congratulating David Torrance for providing us with the opportunity to debate ASDA's Community Life programme. Can I also take the opportunity to welcome Jean Ritchie and Stephen Gallagher to the gallery and commend the work that they and their staff in Kirkcaldy store do to make sure the Community Life programme has been a success within the area over the past 2 years. Thank you very much. Sometimes as MSPs it can feel like there's not enough hours in the day as we run from debate to meeting to event. So for Jean to have spent 359 hours last year volunteering within her local community is certainly something to admire. It is the hard work and commitment of people such as Jean that makes initiatives like ASDA such a success, as well as the backing and support offered by managers like Stephen, who offer Community Life champions the opportunity to do the work that they are able to do. ASDA is a significant company in the UK, and there are many ways they can demonstrate their corporate social responsibility. Supermarkets are a part of modern life, and their influence and dominance within the retail sector contributes to many policy debates. I've recently spoken to them about food poverty, labelling issues, healthy diets and supply chains. Tonight's debate is about the contribution ASDA makes to community volunteering and fundraising. And when I meet with community organisations in Fife, ASDA often come up as a supporter, and groups such as Fife Women's Aid, the Kirkcaldy Food Bank, Frontline Fife or The Cottage often speak of the warm welcome and support of Jean. Across my region of Mid-Scotland and Fife, there are 8 Community Life champions who together have volunteered over 2,000 hours, raised just under £200,000 and opened their stores to 616 local groups. Creating community space is a good thing, and we should look for diversity in the options that are available. ASDA's community activity is very local, with stores having the autonomy to choose the causes they wish to support. The Chosen by You, Given by Us scheme is one that offers customers the opportunity to nominate a good cause for fundraising and then vote for it. With ASDA Kirkcaldy, this has resulted in local charities from Kirkcaldy, East Weems and Dyser all benefiting. £32,000 is a substantial sum of money to raise in a year, and it can go a long way to boosting the income of local organisations. For organisations such as Arden House and Leven, this bit of extra funding can help it to improve the service it offers. Arden House works particularly with older people, many of whom are at risk of social isolation due to complex health problems. Asda Foundation was able to provide the project with over £8,000 to put towards a new kitchen, allowing the centre to continue to offer hot meals for its visitors. It's easy to think the Community Life programme is just about fundraising for local charities, maybe through bagpacking or customers' generosity, but the reality is it goes beyond that, and it's often the imagination and the commitment of the community champion who makes this happen. Environmental issues are popular with litter pickups, and recently I took part in a litter pickup in Kirkcaldy with St Andrews High School and Asda. These can provide a good initial experience for some young people to have a positive volunteering experience who've maybe never volunteered before. As a Community Life champion, I know that Jean supports regular health events along with NHS Fife. I first met Jean at Temple Hall Community Gala on a healthy eating stall, making up fruit kebabs. Supermarkets are often the focus of the debate around healthy or unhealthy eating, and there is more we can all do to improve labelling, ingredients and promotions, but I do recognise the commitment to the partnership with NHS Fife, and supermarkets can play a very positive role in this debate. I was pleased to see that in the year ahead there's an arrangement with Citizens Advice Scotland to offer in-store advice sessions on welfare changes and money management in Kirkcaldy. The supermarket location makes it easy for some people to access the service. It can help reduce the stigma attached to accessing some services and can make getting money advice seem more mainstream and perhaps less intimidating for some of the customers. In closing, Presiding Officer, I'd like to again recognise the hard work of the volunteers at Asda and the hard work and contribution of all the organisations in the Kirkcaldy area who they have been able to support over the past 2 years.
Many thanks. I call Murdo Fraser to be followed by Roderick Campbell.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. Can I start by congratulating David Torrance on securing this debate and for his motion. The buying habits of shoppers have changed dramatically over the past 20 years, and large retailers like Asda have now become a one-stop shop for many domestic purchases. And as a result, family and community life are increasingly centred around a trip to the supermarket. So it's pleasing to see Asda embrace this role and give something back to their communities rather than just good prices on their groceries. Such is the importance of Asda. In some families, it is even usurping the role of mum and dad. A recent article on the Asda website featured a couple whose newborn baby girl had said her very first word, and that word was Asda. I think that's an effective marketing tool if ever I heard one. In 2012, Asda created its Community Life Initiative, a bold strategic plan aiming at directing profits back into the communities in which they are generated. Every year, Community Life spends £8 million making Scottish communities a better place to live, work and play. Asda are even happy to open their stores to politicians, and I frequently hold surgeries in the Asda store in Perth. And from a personal perspective, this is a great opportunity to meet more of the people I serve, including people who are often disengaged from the political process. Perhaps the most visible aspect of the Community Life Initiative, as David Torrance mentioned, is the Chosen by You, Given by Us programme. So when you get these little green counters at the checkout, they actually have substantial implications for the local community. What Asda do lets customers choose which charities to support and give ordinary shoppers a stake in their community, which is invaluable for fostering community spirit. Now, as a Conservative, I always believe in devolving as much decision-making power to local people as possible, and in no small way Asda are doing this for communities across Scotland. I'd also like to join the others who have spoken in congratulating Asda's community champions for their hard work. Champions across the Mid-Scotland and Fife region have volunteered an incredible 2,300 hours of community work and have raised nearly £200,000. Now, David Torrance and Claire Baker have both commended the great work of Community Life in Kirkcaldy. I would just like to say a little bit about the similar work being done by Asda in Perth, where their community champion, Fee Penman, has volunteered a fantastic 328 hours of service to the community, and every week donates her time to the Active Monkeys youth group. Last year, the store held a Community in the Car Park Fun Day, where local charities, groups and organisations came together and met with customers. Events like these help raise awareness of community initiatives and show residents how to get more involved, a process that is very important. Now, David Torrance's motion welcomes the work of Asda in cooperation with the Fife Gingerbread charity. Fife Gingerbread has been the subject of previous members' debates, but it is worth mentioning again their contribution in providing an invaluable service to single-parent families in the region. From the establishment of the Fife Federation of Gingerbread in 1987 to the organisation today, the guiding purpose has not been just to provide information to lone parents, but to ensure they have someone to turn to. That is a much-needed and much-valued service. We must accept that there are many people who need to seek the support of gingerbread services from difficult circumstances, whether through poverty, a low-income base, or because of family breakdown or substance abuse. We must accept this is a very real situation which needs to be addressed. I note from the website there are about 10,500 lone parents in Fife alone, which demonstrates the clear need for gingerbread's work. And thankfully, through the support of ASDA, they will be able to continue to offer these vital services. In conclusion, Deputy Presiding Officer, can I join with David Torrance in congratulating ASDA in Kirkcaldy for its impressive Community Life programme, and also congratulate the Community Life initiatives throughout the Mid-Scotland and Fife region. Community champions are working hard to secure a better future for their areas, and in so doing are giving up their own valuable time, and as such we should recognise their work, and I am very happy to support the motion.
Many thanks. And I now call Roderick Campbell.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'd like to congratulate David Torrance for bringing this debate to Parliament today, and like others also welcome Stephen Gallagher and Jean Ritchie to the Chamber tonight. This debate obviously highlights the work undertaken by ASDA's Community Life Champions. I'm sure we're all aware of the work that ASDA does to support local communities in Kirkcaldy and elsewhere, and if you weren't before, you certainly will be now. The Community Life programme is an excellent example of how a company like ASDA should meaningfully engage with local communities and not take their custom for granted. They're giving back to communities such as Kirkcaldy that have offered loyal customer bases for years. I'm sure that anyone who stepped into an ASDA store is well aware of the Community Life Champions, is also well aware of their Chosen by You, Given by Us scheme, which donates over $100,000 a year to local good causes selected by customers. I know that some of my constituents in North East Fife are increasingly choosing to shop out of town and use the ASDA store in Glenrothes, and would be amongst the many who selected Age Concern in the most recent vote. As we know, every ASDA store and depot across the country has a Community Life Champion who is dedicated to supporting their local communities through volunteering, fundraising and building relationships, and most importantly, giving their time. This can be seen in the amount of time spent by volunteering by its champions since the scheme launched in 2012, collectively, as David Torrance has already mentioned. 36,000 hours volunteering and raising more than 2.6 million. In the last year alone, champions have spent nearly 17,000 hours volunteering in their community, from helping local schools to grow their own vegetables to working with the police to tackle antisocial behaviour. We will see the Community Life programme extending in 2014 as ASDA works with Citizens Advice Scotland to host regular in-store advice sessions on welfare changes and money management. This partnership will benefit from both local communities across Scotland and Citizens Advice Scotland, as it will help Citizens Advice in helping to reach out to those who need their help and advice. There's not just time and money that ASDA gives up. They've also opened their stores up to local communities who can use the stores, the foyer, the cafes and car parks to come together. And in 2013, the stores were used more than 3,800 times by local groups. So that shows you the size of it, allowing groups to save money so that they can invest in their vital service. But it's not just space that ASDA helps. Charities, local organisations with the work they do, work in partnership with FareShare to provide around 770,000 meals to charities in Scotland each year, which allows the charities to invest in essential services. ASDA also works with local schools to help pupils learn about healthy eating, and they welcomed over 12,000 primary school pupils to their stores in 2013, so they can learn more about healthy eating and where their food comes from. This year, they've also launched a new healthy eating toolkit for schools, which can be used to teach children about nutrition, healthy recipes and basic cooking skills. By investing in children, ASDA will help to make a long-term difference to communities. Some listening today might also be aware of the ASDA Foundation, which provides grants to large-scale projects that make a real long-term difference to communities across Scotland. And as Claire Brake has already mentioned, one such project in Fife is Arden House, which is awarded over £8,000 by the Foundation, which will help to build a new kitchen for the day centre for older people. Surely that's a really substantial good use. All across the country, ASDA employees across the country have been working at local levels for excellent causes to help people improve the way they eat, work and live. And ASDA's example of reinvestment to the communities is one that I strongly believe should be followed by other organisations. I wish the Community Life programme well. I hope it continues to be a massive success and they're able to build on past success. I'm looking forward to attending their parliamentary reception on 1st of April so that we can celebrate again Community Life champions. Thank you, Presiding Officer.
Many thanks. Can I now invite the Minister, Margaret Burgess, to respond to the debate in around 7 minutes, please, Minister.
Okay, thank you, Presiding Officer. Like other members, I would also like to congratulate David Torrance for bringing this debate to the Chamber and highlighting for us the success of ASDA Kirkcaldy's Community Life programme, a relatively new initiative which has such a positive impact on the communities it serves. I want to say how impressed I am by ASDA's National Community Life programme, launched, as we heard earlier, in 2012. And last year alone, champions have raised over £1.3 million for local charities in Scotland, and that's nearly 17,000 hours of volunteering. We've heard from members the range of causes that have been supported by ASDA's Kirkcaldy's Community Life champions. For example, Fife Gingerbread was mentioned, as have been some others, but I also understand that they raised funds for British Heart Foundation at the same time as providing information on heart disease to customers to raise awareness of heart disease. They've supported Frontline Fife homelessness services. Through their Chosen by You, Given by Us initiative, funds have been raised for local groups, swimming clubs and projects, and high school projects. And I think a number of members have mentioned the use of the facilities, because that's every bit as important in many areas as raising money, giving somewhere where community groups can use. And I was very interested in hearing about the Citizens Advice surgeries. You know my penchant for the Citizens Advice Bureau service, to have them in a supermarket. I think that's a great idea, a way to get to a group of people. I think Murdo Fraser mentioned that sometimes it's people that we wouldn't be able to reach otherwise, and I think that's another very positive step to take forward. But we should never, we've talked a bit about volunteers, and we should never underestimate the tremendous amount of effort and motivation that goes into volunteering. The volunteer workforce in Scotland makes an enormous contribution in making a real difference to people's lives, and I'm always impressed and immensely grateful for their hard work. Scotland is a nation of helpers, as we will see this summer at the 20th Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. There were over 50,000 volunteer applications for the Games, which is a record for the event. This is higher than previous volunteer applications for both the Melbourne and Manchester Games. Our local people are a great resource with skills and knowledge that we should respect, nourish and unlock to help deliver shared outcomes. And this government recognises that to achieve this vision, we must empower our communities and give them the capacity to help deliver change at a local level. And that's why the proposed Community Empowerment Scotland Bill is so important. The bill will provide the tools and break down barriers, empowering communities to work in partnership with local service providers, including the public, private and third sector. This Parliament will get an opportunity to scrutinise the bill when it's introduced in June this year. The Scottish Government very much supports community action and community-led regeneration. We put people at the heart of the regeneration strategy. We recognise that by empowering local people to respond to the needs and opportunities within their communities, real change can be delivered. Communities become more resilient and sustainable when people work collectively to deliver social, economic and environmental action that can make a direct difference to people's lives. We provide £7.9 million per year through our People and Communities Fund to deliver community-led regeneration. Through this fund, Government has funded 131 projects, committing around £15 million to deliver change at a local level, providing support to community anchor organisations to deliver employability and preventative action projects. And when I visit these projects, I'm always struck by the impact that they make within their communities. Projects like the ones we've heard about in Fife and supported by ASDA tackling deep-rooted issues and delivering projects that offer youth diversionary activities, employment opportunities, health benefits or confidence building in local areas. These projects are often led by local people who work tirelessly to deliver change in their local community. And I'm also impressed always when I talk to volunteers, wherever, their enthusiasm for what they do, and I think that's something that deserves our recognition. And I also have to commend ASDA's clear community ethos. The support provided by a national retailer to help deliver local projects, volunteering and community activities is encouraging. Our very own Town Centre Action Plan calls on the private sector to work with national government and the wider public sector to help revitalise our town centres, to make them vibrant places where local people want to live, work and do business in. The community approach taken by ASDA is an example of good work that can be achieved when working with the private sector, and I will be encouraging other retailers to follow this example. And next week, like Rod Campbell and others, I will be attending an evening reception in the Parliament's garden lobby, hosted by ASDA and the Scottish business in the community, to celebrate all of ASDA's community life champions. The programme's volunteers have spent 36,000 hours volunteering, and I think, as already been said, have raised £2 million for good causes across Scotland. And I'll be honoured to meet with these volunteers and staff to hear more about their work. Because I think all of us, if we visit as the supermarket, it's not just about the work that they do locally and the groups that they're supporting. It's about, I think it was mentioned by others, how the community can come together and we can involve everyone in it. And I certainly, when Murdo Fraser was talking about the green tokens, watched a wee girl getting her mother explaining to her in the shop what they were for and what all the projects were for and how you could choose which one to help. And she was explaining what each project did, and there was pictures up on the wall. And I was quite impressed because the wee girl, and she was just a wee tot, said, I want to help them all. And she divided her tokens equally between the three. And I thought that was good because it gave that opportunity to know what was happening in the community, what the community wanted to do, but also from a very early age to encourage people to be involved. So to conclude, Presiding Officer, I would like to commend all of ASDA's community life champions, and in particular tonight, ASDA Kirkcaldy for their efforts. And I wish Stephen Gallagher, Jean Ritchie and all the very best, and our recognition and praise and encouragement for their ongoing work, which I'm sure will continue. Thank you.
Many thanks, and that concludes David Torrance's members' debate on ASDA Kirkcaldy's Community Life programme, and I now close this meeting of Parliament.